There are places on Earth where survival feels almost impossible to imagine. Places where the cold does not just surround you, it slowly consumes you. The wind never truly stops, and the silence feels heavier than sound itself. Every step forward feels like a battle against nature and your own body. Even breathing becomes a visible struggle in the freezing air around you. A group of soldiers move slowly across this endless frozen landscape. Their bodies are exhausted, yet they continue to push forward, step by step. Each breath they take turns into clouds that vanish into the cold air. Snow stretches endlessly in every direction, without any clear end. The mountains stand tall like silent watchers, observing everything below. They have been walking for days without any real rest or relief. Each step they take drains a little more energy from their bodies. No one speaks unless it is absolutely necessary to do so. Even the simplest words feel heavy in this freezing environment. One young soldier begins to struggle to keep up with the group. His vision blurs slightly as the cold starts affecting him deeply. He looks ahead and quietly asks how much further they must go. The answer he receives is calm, short, and filled with meaning. They will keep moving forward no matter what happens next, because stopping here would mean something far worse. The wind grows stronger, cutting through their heavy clothing. Snow begins to swirl more aggressively across the frozen ground. The environment feels like it is pushing back against them. Still, they continue forward without breaking formation. Then suddenly, something changes far out in the distance. A faint sound begins to echo across the silent mountains. At first, it is so quiet that it almost goes unnoticed, but slowly it becomes clearer and impossible to ignore. The soldiers stop moving and begin to look around carefully. Their eyes scan every ridge, every shadow, every movement. The silence that once felt empty now feels dangerously alive. It feels as if something unseen is watching their every move. Shapes begin to appear far away along the snowy ridges. At first, they're small and difficult to recognize clearly, but then more shapes begin to appear across the mountains. The scale of what they are seeing starts to become clear. This is not a small presence hidden in the distance. It is something much larger and far more dangerous. The realization settles in quietly among the soldiers. They are no longer alone in this frozen wasteland. What surrounds them is not just a threat, but a massive force. Communication attempts are made through their radio devices. Voices try to reach out through the cold, static-filled signals, but no clear response comes back to reassure them. Only silence and broken static fill the empty airwaves. They begin to understand what this truly means for them. There will be no immediate help coming to save them. The responsibility now rests entirely on their shoulders. Inside their position, decisions are made quickly and carefully. The situation is changing and time is running out. The conditions continue to worsen with every passing moment. The cold grows stronger and their energy continues to fade. Staying in one place is no longer a safe option. Supplies are limited and the environment offers no mercy. The only choice left is to continue moving forward. As night begins to fall once again, preparations begin. Vehicles struggle to start in the freezing conditions. Engines fight against the cold before finally coming alive. Equipment is checked carefully, knowing failure is not allowed. Every small detail now carries critical importance. The column begins to move slowly into the dark night. Headlights cut sharply through the thick frozen fog ahead. The road ahead is uncertain and filled with hidden danger. Every sound feels louder. Every shadow feels closer. The journey becomes more intense as darkness surrounds them. Soon the road reveals new obstacles blocking their path. Broken terrain and debris force them to slow down again. Engineers quickly move forward to clear a safe route. Others remain alert, watching every direction carefully. The pressure continues to build with every passing second. Movement is detected once again, somewhere beyond their view. The soldiers react instantly with discipline and control. They maintain their formation despite rising tension around them. Each soldier knows exactly what must be done in that moment. The cold continues to affect their hands and movements. Even simple actions require full focus and determination. Equipment becomes harder to handle with frozen fingers. Still, they support each other through every difficulty. No one is left behind, no matter how hard it becomes. Step by step, they continue pushing forward together. Exhaustion begins to take a heavy toll on their bodies. Some struggle to keep their eyes open as they move. Others begin to slow, but they refuse to stop completely. Stopping for too long in this cold is extremely dangerous. The environment punishes any moment of weakness instantly. Then suddenly, the radio comes alive once again. A faint signal breaks through the silence and static. For a moment, hope rises among the exhausted soldiers, but the message is short and not very clear. It only confirms one thing: they must keep moving. No rescue is coming to reach them anytime soon. Everything now depends on their own strength and decisions. The terrain ahead becomes even more difficult to navigate. They carefully enter a narrow mountain pass surrounded by cliffs. The space becomes tighter and movement is restricted. Every step forward increases the tension in the air. This is the kind of place where anything can happen. The soldiers remain focused and ready for anything. Their discipline keeps them moving in the right direction. Despite everything, they refuse to lose control. The pressure rises again as they move deeper ahead. Reactions remain quick, controlled, and well coordinated. Their training guides them through every difficult moment. But the cost of this journey is becoming visible now. There are fewer voices among them than before. Movement is slower, but the determination remains strong. No one speaks about turning back anymore. They have come too far to even consider that option. A faint light begins to appear somewhere ahead. It is small, but it brings a sense of direction. The darkness slowly begins to fade into early light. The mountains ahead start to open up slightly. The air feels different as they continue forward, but one final challenge still stands in their way. The group gathers every bit of strength they have left. They prepare themselves silently for one last push. There are no speeches, no loud commands, no hesitation. Only a quiet understanding shared between them all. Together, they begin to move forward once again. Step by step, they push through the final stretch. The path ahead slowly begins to clear as they advance. Movement becomes slightly easier with each step forward. The pressure that followed them begins to fade away. The sounds around them grow quieter and more distant. The tension slowly lifts from their surroundings. They continue walking into a more open landscape. The mountains no longer feel as close or threatening. The silence returns, but it feels completely different now. It is no longer filled with fear or uncertainty. For the first time, it feels calm and real. The soldiers begin to slow their pace slightly. They look around, taking in what surrounds them now. The realization begins to settle in deeply. They have made it through the worst of it all. Not because the journey was easy for them, not because the conditions suddenly changed, but because they refused to stop moving forward. Through exhaustion, fear, and overwhelming uncertainty, they kept going when it mattered the most. And in the end, that made all the difference.